Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 201. We're a podcast that talks about pop culture, things that interest us. And sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John. I'm joined, as always, by Andrea. How's it going?
Good, good. Even though I was availing myself of telling you my woes after coming home from vacation earlier, I am in fact good.
Okay.
It's just a
Yeah.
hard bump
Well,
hitting reality and all the adulting responsibilities again after you've been
yep.
carefree at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. So,
Yeah.
but I will live.
I mean, it's good if you come back from vacation and you don't feel like you need a vacation, you know,
Yes.
now another one from the vacation. So that's good
True.
anyways. You just envious.
True.
You just wish you could be back there. Not that I
Yes.
could really use the
Right, right. Yeah, no, this was a good kind of vacation because a lot of times I am guilty of doing too many things.
right.
I'm not really a relaxing vacation kind of person. I am a sightseeing vacation kind of person. But this was a really good balance of, I got to swim in the ocean and be on the beach. I got to relax in a beach chair with drink in hand. I got to do some activities both in the resort and outside. And I did do a little bit of sightseeing, but it was a great mix of everything. So it felt more restful and exciting rather than draining and, you know,
Yeah,
fulfilling, but not really relaxing. So,
yeah. A person needs both. You need both kinds of
yes,
vacations.
yes,
If you do
indeed.
to mix it up. Um, I agree. Usually, it's like we're off somewhere. We have things to see.
Mhm.
We have
You have a
places to
schedule.
eat. Yeah, it's like, well, we try to keep just our options open. So we have always something to do and then kind of try to always be doing something. But every
Yes.
once in a while having those vacations where it's just like you're to an area more, you don't really have a lot of things to see. You're just gonna chill out someplace
Yeah.
warm, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was the other nice thing about Mexico. It is, high 70s, low 80s in the temperature arena there. And yeah, this morning I was putting the girls in the car and I was freezing. And Chris was like, "What are you being such a baby about? It's so warm here. It's 40." I was like, "Yeah, I was just in temperatures that were double that. Okay, like, give me a
Yeah.
break."
Yeah. No, and we're in that phase where, we had a few warm days. So then you
Mhm.
start changing attire for that. And now it's like,
Yes.
it's 40. I'll wear my lighter jacket or I'll wear my just my sweatshirt or something. It's like, it's still cold. It's still cold.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Uh,
but well, the fires are warm here. Come on in, everyone. Cuddle up with maybe a cocktail, warm your belly, and
Mhm.
we're gonna get into some James Bond discussions tonight. We have been
Mm.
slowly going through the books because it's kind of a first for both of us going through them
Mhm.
all. So we've been doing that. And then when it works, comparing and contrasting the movies to the books, trying to hit anniversaries when we can. We're going a little reverse now in this one because we talked about A View to a Kill
Yes.
last time. So we kind of
Yes.
skipped ahead. We meant to get to Goldfinger,
Mhm.
um, just didn't get it in before the end of last year. So there it is. Yep. I there's so many times throughout my life that I've looked in a Barnes and Noble and there's the James Bond books and then just never bought them. And so
Sure.
there are certain covers and editions that I remember seeing that I kind of would like. Some of them are
Mhm.
harder to find now, but now I'm really getting into these old ones. Um,
Yeah.
so I like
These
picking those up.
these black and white stripies here are all the Washington County Library System seems to have. They have multiple sets of
Okay,
these. One full one in the
interesting.
library right near my house, and then various other pieces at other libraries. But yeah, Those are the only covers they seem to have. So
Okay. They all got them at one time. I mean, what's the publication year of that edition?
oh,
Is
sure,
that
let's
like
check it out. The cover, oh, I can tell you the cover
early
design is
2000s?
by Archie Ferguson. Archie
Okay.
Ferguson is the man behind this cover, and I'm assuming the
Okay.
others. It is 2012.
Okay. So,
Yep,
I
Thomas
mean,
and Mercer edition.
sounds not long ago, but
Yeah, uh,
it's still a while, I guess.
printed in the USA in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay. Mine was printed in Great Britain, uh,
Ooh,
Buckinghamshire. 10th,
Buckinghamshire. Buckinghamshire.
yeah. Can't want to guess the year. This is the 10th printing of this.
92?
Oh no, this is this is old bugger. This is
Oh.
1963.
Oh, okay.
10th
I don't
10th
know.
printing of this like iteration, you know? This is
I'm thinking like edition wise.
see here it's 60 cents. I don't know if I can't see it. This is a 60-cent novel here.
Oh yeah, I mean very very lightly I can see it. Yeah.
Mhm. It says, "Remember Le Chiffre, Sir Hugo Drax, Rosa Klebb, Dr. No. Now meet James Bond's seventh adversary, the man who had planned the crime de la crime,
Yes.
Goldfinger."
A phrase they
Yeah.
use in the book. That's interesting that they give you a list of villains because I felt like, and I won't jump too much into my book discussion here, but I do feel like Goldfinger in particular was more retrospective than the other Bond books that I've read. There was a lot of mentioning of previous events. And I was just sort of like,
Mm,
as I was reading through, I was like, okay, calling back to like our Spangle brothers in our diamond heist. We're going back to Le Chiffre. We're going back, you know what I mean? Like all these like other events just kept coming up. And I was like, this is a really interesting book. I don't know what about it. Maybe Fleming felt like he was reminiscing or, having Bond reminisce. But yeah, that was something I
yeah.
noted as I read.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see going forward then too, if that's something that carries along. I mean, obviously we've been one forward, me 1.5
I
now because
mean,
we talked about View to a Kill, and then I've
yeah,
maybe the shorts don't count. Yeah,
I don't
doing
think
fine.
so because that felt so separate. That felt
Hmm.
so self-contained in its little world. So yeah, I wouldn't
Yep.
count that short.
Okay. Well, anyways, we'll be getting into that
Mhm.
just a little bit here. Before that, we'll talk if there's anything else we've been watching, and then right up
Mm.
top, we should discuss drink holidays.
Well, of course we should if we're talking Bond because the man loves a drink. He does not say no to basically anything. um, and he does have at least one, if not two, drinks that we are celebrating, looking forward and celebrating. So in Goldfinger,
Okay.
so it's appropriate to mention. The first off, today, April 7th, Happy National Beer Day. You still got time to celebrate if you wanna. It's only 9 p.m. where
So
we are.
random. Just April 7th, beer day. All right.
National Beer Day. Huzzah
Mhm.
and cheers.
Yeah.
Um, but if beer is not your jam, in 2 days you can have a drink very appropriate for somebody serving in Her Majesty's Secret Service. It is Gin and Tonic Day on April 9th, just 2 days away.
Very nice.
Uh, Looking a little farther ahead, on the 17th, it is World Malbec Day, which is a red wine if you're unfamiliar. And then literally no other holidays in April. We close out on the 19th with Amaretto Day.
Okay. All right. With all the April birthdays, none of us have to share a drink holiday. We have our
Except my
just
mom.
our.
The
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
19th. She is amaretto, which she would not love.
I think we've talked about that actually. I think
Mhm.
you've mentioned that. Hmm.
Yeah. Yep, that would not be her jam.
Well, what's your jam tonight?
A good old classic that Bond definitely drinks in this book series, or in this book, which is a G&T. Cheers.
Very nice. So I was gonna go because it's like, it's today. It's the 7th. Should go with a
Mhm.
beer. It's like, what wins out? A drink holiday or the topic at hand? I
Mhm.
chose the topic at hand. So I also have a G&T. Uh,
Yeah, you do.
yes. So this G&T, couple
Is it
things.
your Bond gin?
Um, no, I did. I have Bond rum.
Oh, didn't you have gin though at one point, right?
Mm.
There was like a thing about the guy who made it, and you were like, "Oh, I swear we connected one of your gins back to James Bond."
Hmm. I mean, again, the first gin I tried was Bombay Sapphire because that's what they
Right.
made a big deal about during Casino Royale and
Right.
using in the Vesper.
Right.
Um,
I do remember that. I feel like you had like
oh,
a
Alan's drinking the James May gin and tonic. That's good. Um,
nice. That's awesome.
I mean, he's British anyways, so that's that.
Yeah, we all have the same idea today, which I kind of
Mhm.
figured. I mean, it's one of
Yeah.
Alan's go-tos.
Yep.
It's one of
Cheers.
mine, frankly, as well. So let's be real about it. The other one that we could have had is Malbec. He does have a glass of
Oh,
that during one of his many dinners.
specifically a Malbec?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well,
Yep.
I do not have that on hand, so.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I didn't either. Even though I love red
mhm.
wine, it wasn't on my or in my cabinet today. So.
Sure. Well, this is the gin I used today. I thought it was
Ooh,
really cool because so it's Italian. Bond
Italian.
loves himself some Italian things. That's for sure.
Yes.
So this is Italian organic gin, but it's put in like a oil can. You know.
Yes. Yes. I dig.
So I opened it just tonight for this. It's the first time I've had it. Uh, yeah,
How is
made
it?
in Italy. So it's when you smell it, it definitely smells has the pininess to it, but it's it tastes fruitier than I was prepping myself for. Like again, when I get that first thing in
Hmm.
my head of like, oh, it's really piney. I'm just thinking like I'm gonna have that taste forward as well, and it
Sure.
really isn't as much as I thought. So it's strong, but I prefer like for if I'm having it pretty close to neat, I would want like Alan has some of the James May gin. I
Hmm.
like that stuff a lot. But this is my gin and tonic, but then I put some pineapple in there too.
Oh,
So I've
okay.
got
Sure.
the ittiest bit of pineapple juice and a few pieces of pineapple. So that's my bit of tropics involved in my G&T. So
Sure.
yeah. Mhm.
I have gone with a classic Tanqueray number 10 gin and tonic, and then a little elderflower liqueur. That's how I was feeling
Oh,
today. A little fancy,
nice.
a little
Yeah.
Saint Germain.
Cool. Very nice. Okay, well, I mean, three G and Ts. It's we're all simpatico here.
Yes.
Let's see. It looks like you've maybe consumed three other films or a book in here too, huh?
Yes. Yes. Obviously, I had some time at the beach and read Dungeon Crawler Carl, recommended by our friend Phil, and it is excellent. It took me just a little bit to get into the story, but it is so funny. It's basically, I mean, if you did a mishmash of an apocalyptic event with some sort of like isekai anime where you're sucked into like a dungeon world and you have to get through, and are a new player in the game, and you have to figure out the rules and how to get through the dungeons and pass the levels and all that. But it's in book form. And so it doesn't seem like that medium would work, but it actually really does. This writer, Matt Dinneman, is great at dialogue. He is fabulous at literally laugh out loud dialogue. I was laughing out loud on the plane, on at the beach. Like, I look like a nutty person. But it was just that good. So I highly recommend it.
Cool. Very nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Is it a relatively lengthy book, or like
no, I mean,
300
I've only
pages?
read the first one, which was, I think, two something, like 280, 290, something like that. Maybe just over three, no longer. Yeah, very consumable, I think. Yeah, I
Nice.
recommend.
Nice.
And then the other thing I did while on the plane was I watched The Housemaid. Not,
Did you watch that on the plane, Andrea?
I didn't.
Oh.
I did, but I didn't. So I didn't watch it, but I saw like this woman right in front of me watching it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna watch along with her. I didn't even need to hear the dialogue. I really didn't. Like, she had the captions on, and I just like would occasionally
Okay.
read some stuff, and then I would just like
Yeah.
get what was going on. It wasn't
Okay.
it wasn't like a highly intellectual movie. It wasn't a movie of, such substance that if I looked away for a second, it would be like, oh no, I've lost the plot.
Sure.
But it kept me, looking. Like, I kept returning to her screen and being like, yeah, I'm gonna watch along with her. So
The whole time, this person's like feeling eyes over her shoulder. He just can like tell. What's it?
I know, I was such a creeper. I don't even care. Yeah. I watched along with her. I was just like, whatever, who cares?
I always find it entertaining, at least to see what people are watching. I'm interested in
Mhm.
like, okay, there's news, there's sports, there's an action movie, whatever. It's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, it is. Like, I know I clocked some other people watching some TV shows or watching like Friends episodes, all very like safe airline viewing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, at one point I had considered putting the Chainsaw Man movie on, and then was like,
Oh.
yeah, I probably better not do that. So it's
Hmm.
not very safe airplane viewing.
I guess. And probably more than Housemaid. I have a feeling. I don't know.
Housemaid actually ended up being a little bit different. I thought it was going to be like this, like, I don't know, sexually charged, like, secrets and lies, and
Yeah.
everybody's like getting down, and doing the nasty. And it ended up being a little more like thriller mystery than I had anticipated.
Sure.
Um, so it definitely surprised me by going in a bit different direction than I think it was advertised as, or I had understood it to be.
Sure.
But it ended up being really solid. I don't think it
Okay.
was, a masterwork of cinema or anything, but it was good. It was good storytelling, and surprising enough that I was engaged the whole time.
Yeah, especially without being able to hear it. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and I will give a special shout out. I think Amanda Seyfried, um, did some really great acting in that movie. And again, it surprised me. I thought her character could have been really one dimensional, and she just made it a little bit more.
Very nice. I wanted to see it. I was like, we were trying to, go to our local theater more, and it just
Hmm.
not working out very well. But that was one that was
Yeah,
we were trying
small
to
humans will
trying to
do
get
that.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would still, if you haven't watched it, I would recommend doing it. It's, it. I think it's okay that you didn't see it in the theater, but I would still try to watch it. It's good. It's
Sure.
solid.
Okay. Very nice. Two thumbs
Hmm.
up things so far
Yes,
from you here.
yes, good things. And then obviously I closed out with something that I love. I rewatched the Goldfinger movie, which I didn't realize Netflix has all of the James Bond movies right now. They only have them for, I think, 2 more weeks, if that,
Okay.
um, till like the
Yeah.
20th or something. But yeah, if you're a Bond fan and you haven't seen anything, quick rush over to Netflix and watch.
It's I thought it was odd, but I guess that makes sense because they were on a lot of them were on Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
but who they own them now, and then
Right.
they did this deal, and I'm sure they got a chunk of money to try that for a
I'm
while. I think a
sure.
lot of companies probably
Yeah.
do this sort of thing, get it in front of a lot more eyeballs doing a Netflix deal. So yeah,
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse, that um films or shows make the rounds among streaming platforms because, that way at least everybody has a shot to see it mostly no matter what streaming platform you have. But also it can feel really, really irritating when, you have like a certain amount of time and you're like, what if I miss it? Or what if I like find out the night before and now it's going away to a platform I don't
yeah,
have and I don't want. So
yeah. Well, that's most of the thing. It's gonna be you're gonna see something, and then when you come back and it's gone, you're like, hey, what? I thought it was on here.
yeah.
What's going on? So you always have to search for where it's available. Pretty
Hmm.
obnoxious. I found out
Yeah.
that I really have very few of the Bond movies digitally. I own
Sure.
a copy
Hmm.
of every Bond movie, at least
Sure.
one. But digitally, I don't really have mostly the newer ones.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
um, that's usually my
Yeah.
source. So I have run into before where I'm like, oh, I want to just go on to whatever
Mhm.
service and put something on quick, as opposed to going and get my DVD copy. And I also figured like
Mhm.
I only have on DVD too. So it's like, oh, well, there should be a 4K version I can stream somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know I only own DVD copies. I have no digital copies of Bond, but I do have Goldfinger and Goldeneye, because obviously they're right next to each other alphabetically. So,
And alphabetically instead of chronologically, Andrea.
well, all my movies are currently together alphabetically.
Yeah, but you go James J and then
Oh,
logical. So you
I
could go to the
see.
font section and then
Well, that's not even how they're introduced, though. They're not introduced as like James Bond. They're what are they? They're like what are they in the title sequences? They're not the title either. They're like, do you
oh,
know what I mean?
I mean it is right. It is the title of the film. It's not like James Bond in
Right,
Goldeneye. It's
but don't they usually do something or they do like 007 in GoldenEye or Alfred Broccoli presents 007 in, Dr. No or whatever in the title sequence.
sure.
Obviously not on the case of the
Right.
movie because it's just like the title, but yeah, I was thinking of how else I could order them, but they usually do it that way, I think.
Well, but you have them all together, right? All the James Bond book or movies together.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're just going alphabetical, then they might as well just be anywhere
Well,
amongst
right.
all.
Yes, right now in my brain they are 007 movies and they are categorized alphabetically, not chronologically.
I'm gonna have to put a poll out there for this week's episode.
Well,
Like,
I didn't say
what
you should watch
Andrea
them that way,
do?
although that would be very interesting to watch them alphabetically. That would be so weird.
Maybe it would happenstancely turned out, pretty fun.
Maybe yeah, I was going to say maybe it would be really fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was hoping to get to rewatching Goldfinger again,
Mhm.
but I didn't. I did watch it fairly recently though, because it
Sure.
was like anniversary, and I was trying to what I so. Yes, that's why in my head I was like, did we talk about Goldfinger the movie on the podcast already? Did you think that too? Because we kind of bring it up and then
we
look
we
back.
brought it
You know,
up.
yeah,
We brought it up
we
for
didn't
sure
really.
because you had said that you had watched it and I had mentioned that it was one of my favorites. And then we talked a little bit about it. I don't remember how much, but we did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I also read a book. I finished Dune Messiah. So book 2 in the Dune.
Finished before Dune 3.
Yes. Yes. I did, for anyone that's missed it, I did a spoiler kind of review or whatever of it while I unboxed my 2 blaster packs of Dune cards.
Smart.
So there's a live stream on our podcast on the Rocks channel. You can take a look when I'm opening Dune cards and I talk about Dune Messiah. And yeah, I I have just started Children of Dune, but I'm conflicted whether I'm going to
Okay.
just give it a breather and read the rest of the James Bond short stories so we can cover those and stuff. I also have a Batman book I want to read, but I have a stack of Dune books. I kind of want to just keep going too, so I don't know, but I'm partially into 3 different books. I need to
Sure.
pick one. So, yeah.
Well, at least you finished one book,
Yes. Mhm.
Goldfinger, plus Dune Messiah.
Yes.
But I'm just saying.
I know. I have been finishing books. Just I'm at a junction at this point, a crossroads,
Sure.
and yeah. But Dune Messiah, man, I'm. It's Oh, Alan says absolute DC stuff too. Yes, I actually am reading some Absolute Batman. I put that down for quite a long while, and
Yeah,
now
I remember that.
yeah, I'm on issue 11 or 12. So I have picked up that a little bit again. Um, it's still compelling. So, but Doom Messiah, I mean, it's just the thing. I feel like it's going to make me spoiled. I've said I don't know if I said in my review or if I told Ryan this or something that it's every chapter there's something deep to ponder. There's some thought
Mhm.
or philosophy or whatever. It's like, does that make sense? Can I make sense of that? Is this the way it is? Do I agree? And like I have a whole album on my phone where I've taken pictures of all the different quotes, as I've said before. But it's just like, can I read just a full length book now that's just sort of fun? I don't know.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
What's that?
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, yeah.
It's very fun, and
Mhm.
it's not too deep or philosophical, even though it is about life and death.
Sure. Oh yeah, Alan says Project Hail Mary. That's right. That's kind of blowing up too, and I want another
Yeah,
movie to see. So
indeed. I
yeah,
think I have that book. I think I ordered it from the library and got it. So
okay.
that's something I have to start.
Nice. Very nice. And then the one other thing I did is start the new Darth Maul show. So
Yeah,
last year, whatever, at Celebration, that
that's
they
right.
have Darth Maul animated series coming this year, and the first 2 episodes of that have dropped. I only saw the first episode. I'm hoping to watch the second one and then talk about it while I open some Star Wars cards.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. First episode I enjoyed. I thought it
Mm.
looked cool visually. The music was
Mhm.
good sound. Um, Ashley thought it was a little dull, and I can see that. I think that the issue so far is like the only character and care about in here is Darth Maul, and there's other characters
Mhm.
and they're setting them up, and so we don't care about them yet. So
Mm.
um, that'd be my, I guess, critique. But
Okay.
30-minute episodes each, and I've basically enjoyed all of the Star Wars animated stuff that I've seen. So this is seems like it's going to be good as well. But
Okay.
um, quickly, did I tell you that I watched the movie cut of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
No, you didn't.
So a fan, someone, I don't know, video creator guy, he did an edit into like a 2-something hour movie, the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's still not good. I mean, I thought about having Dustin on here because I told Dustin about it, and he finished it now as well. But I'd be very interested to get the perspective of people that have seen the full series,
Mm, mm.
because I can
Yeah,
only imagine how I would be pulling my hair out if
sure.
watching all of it all. Like, they had to obviously cut a lot of content.
Yeah.
You've seen it all, yes?
Yes, I've seen, I mean, if we're talking about the show,
Series.
yes,
The
obviously
series,
not the
yes.
movie. Yes, I've
Mhm.
watched the series.
So, spoiler alert right now for anyone
Wee
that,
wee wee.
yes, spoiler alert for anyone that's not seen the Kenobi series. One of the bigger things that I believe they
Thank you,
completely,
Ellen.
which makes complete sense to me, is there's this thing, the moment where Riva, like, she decides that she's going to confront Vader, and she
Mm,
gets what looks like killed. To
yeah.
my, in the well, are you okay with spoilers for this movie? I should say.
Well, I mean, if it's made up of stuff that was in the series, how would I not know it?
I guess you'll find out when I say this. So,
Okay.
if I remember correctly, Riva lives that experience and goes back and finds where Luke is on Tatooine, and then decides to. She could have killed Luke and decides not to, or something to that effect. They
Yeah.
completely move that whole thing. Riva's just dead. Riva is she in that moment where it looks like she died,
Interesting.
never comes back.
Interesting. Interesting.
We don't need more freaking people surviving lightsaber stabs and all this stuff. We have
Yeah.
enough already. Poor Qui-Gon Jinn already suffered. He's the only one that dies to a lightsaber anymore. And so,
I
yes.
mean, I see where you could cut that out. I mean, it makes it less interesting in terms of, the completeness of the Star Wars universe and like acknowledging that Luke is there. And also it brings some tension, but yeah, it's not necessary.
No, because Kenobi completes his mission, revolved around Leia, bringing Leia back.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
at the end, like, he returns and basically is telling Owen that he's going to leave Luke be. And
Yep.
then Owen's like, "Do you want to meet him?" And that's
Mhm.
how it. Um, I think that's cool. We don't need another, like, I don't know. We'll have to go into it for a whole episode. It's
John's admitting defeat, the crushing defeat. We're gonna talk about it. Oh
well,
God.
I kind of went in sort of hopeful. It's like, I don't know what they can do with this.
Yeah.
Um, there's some cool stuff in it for sure. Like, there's some
Yeah.
cool fights and everything, but you know, I just the confrontation of them. The timeline's a little squeezed. Vader's like, in A New Hope.
Mhm.
Last we met, I was but to learn. Now I am the master, and it's like,
Mhm.
you we met 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you yesterday. Basically, you guys were
Yeah. I
together.
mean, we did talk about this when I told you that I was first going to be watching Kenobi, and I mean, there was no spoiler because they had it in all the trailers that Darth Vader was going to be there. I mean, obviously Hayden Christensen was there, and it was like, oh, the reveal, he's back, bah. Like they'd done that before anything came out, um, and we acknowledged that like this just f's with the whole Star Wars timeline. It just does. It's terrible. It ruins a lot of the story that's been previously built because what the heck are they doing? Keep like running into each other, and why are they like surprised at each other in, the original trilogy if they've just seen each other? It totally just F's with all of that. That being said, it still produces cool moments, but you just have to just accept the fact that it F's with some major storylines and timelines. It just does.
Yeah.
And if you are prepared to set that aside or be unbothered by the fact that that does that, and then you can just enjoy the coolness, or you can just be like, this isn't real. This isn't part of my canon. This isn't part of my, Star Wars mythos. I'll just enjoy it as like a fun little fantasy.
Mhm.
Then yeah, it's fine. If you just don't try to logically work all of these events together, because you can't do it without tripping up, without things getting screwed up.
Yeah. It's stupid and clunky too. Like besides the canon things, again, we'll go into it sometime.
Yeah.
I'll have to put myself through it again so I can remember all the things. But
It's a
yeah,
sacrifice John's gonna make.
I don't want to. And posted the Obi-Wan, the Patterson cut, 2.5 hour movie. You can go and download it in high quality or whatever.
Artistic interpretation. Interesting.
And, yeah, there it is. So, anyways, for something that I will gladly put myself through many a time, the Goldfinger movie, or more specifically now today, the Goldfinger book novel. Um, Andrea, what did you think? Us knowing that you like the Goldfinger movie so much,
Yes.
how did the novel stack up?
Yeah. That's a great question. I liked some of the original book better than I liked the movie. And then there were moments where I thought the movie did a little bit of a smoother job explaining plot lines. So for instance, I really enjoyed the first two parts of the Goldfinger book, because it was divided into three. And I thought that a lot of it did a better job setting up Bond and Goldfinger's meetings, especially, the beginning of the book is changed from the movie in the instance of Bond is reminiscing about a case that he's just been on. He's kind of sour about it. He's a little down. And then his flight gets canceled and he runs into an acquaintance who was playing cards with him as he was playing against Lashif in Casino Royale. And he's like, oh, remember you were such a great card player. I'm getting into a little bit of trouble. This guy is fleecing me at cards and I need you to figure it out because my pride is wounded at this point. Um, so that's how Bond comes to Miami and meets Goldfinger and catches him in the whole, you know, cheating at
Yeah.
cards, where he's got a spotter in the hotel calling out the cards and stuff. Whereas in the movie, M for some reason books him a vacation in Miami. And that's how he happens to be at this hotel, and the CIA is like, oh, this guy Goldfinger, we want to catch him out. And we know he's like a card shark, but we don't know how he's doing it. And going from reading the book to watching the movie, I was like, yeah, that's kind of unbelievable in the movie. First of all, that M would ever give Bond a vacation or do anything for him that would urge him towards vacation. And then two, that the CIA is just like, oh, hey, like, come catch this guy, figure out what he's doing. Like, I don't know. So
Book made more
those,
sense.
those kinds of things I thought made more sense in the book, or like how they get together to play the game of golf in the book, or how the game of golf goes in the book. It's a little more realistic. It paints Bond more humanly, as he's at first losing to Goldfinger and doesn't realize how he's cheating again, even though he just caught him cheating at cards. Like, why wouldn't he cheat at golf too? Um, so just him getting kind of caught up in the humanness of being irritated that he's losing this golf game and he's not focused on what kind of person Goldfinger is. I enjoyed those kinds of things. But then when we got to the big plot of stealing the gold from Fort Knox, kind of thought the book went a little bit off the rails. It
Hmm.
it it there were some aspects of it that made sense, and then Goldfinger, like, actually killing 60,000 people with this, like, nerve gas, the way that he was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna, like, haul it in these trucks and get away on a ship, and it'll be totally fine." Um, yeah, some of that started to get a little bit like, "I don't know about this plan." Um, yeah. So I thought the movie did a little bit of a smoother job trying to be like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna like put everybody to sleep. Oh, I don't actually want to steal the gold. I want to make it radioactive, so the gold I already have is going to explode in value." That made a little bit more sense. Whereas in the book, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fire this missile, but I'm also gonna steal the gold, even though it's radioactive." I was just like, "Okay, interesting."
Oh,
Um,
did they say that? So it was still the plan to make it radioactive in there in the book?
Well, yeah, Bond comments in the book because I did reread some of the big scenes just to like refresh my memory a little bit. And he's like, "What are you going to do with all this radioactive gold? Like, what? I
Mm.
don't understand. Why are you going to kill like 60,000 people?" Bond is, very perplexed at the point of all of this, and Goldfinger's just like, I really want it. I want the gold, and I want the notoriety of pulling off this heist." Um, and he's very focused on like this being the pinnacle of achievement in the area of crime, and this is how he's going to be remembered. So yeah, it's
Okay.
very a little bit different, not very different, but just the details of it felt a little more unbelievable in the book, whereas like the movie felt a little simpler, and I think that actually worked in its favor.
Okay. Was this of the ones we read so far? Is this the closest to the film?
This is
Film
very close to the
book?
film, very very close to the film. Yeah. I would say especially in terms of plot points, a lot of beats are the same. Um, there are characters who are a little bit different. For instance, Tilly Masterson sticks around a lot longer in the book, whereas in the movie she's a little more, couple scenes and done. Um, and then uh Pussy Galore in the movie is different than the book. In the book, she's like the leader of an actual gang, and she's described very differently, both physically and in personality. So, like, there were character switches that were made, but not plot switches, really.
Sure. Yeah. I think this is why I had trouble with the book, uh, was because every other Bond book I'd read so far felt like a lot of it was a surprise.
Hmm.
And, like for me, it's a testament to do. And like when I'm reading it, I keep going, even though I'm familiar with a bunch of it or whatever, the first one. But with this, is like, I don't know. It feels this too much the same, and so it took me a long while to get into it. I really liked it when it got to um, Bond sort of following Goldfinger across country and stuff, which
Yeah, that was
you
interesting.
know they do in the movie as well. But
Hmm.
I like the added depth of this. I understood his organization more, how he got into this, how he is like um, smuggling the gold, using the
Hmm.
car, like having it stripped down, by having a crew to do that. Like I liked all those details and stuff that I never really
Hmm.
thought about with the film. Um, I liked the stuff with Tilly more, like how he met. I like the little bit of like insight to Bond's mind, his sort of fantasizing about like who she might be as he's driving or
Hmm.
whatever, and like how this could go. And then it doesn't, and she's not that kind of person or whatever, it's like it's I don't know. I liked all those things. They felt different, it felt more expansive than what I've got in the film.
Hmm.
And it's interesting having that sort of courting relationship, Bond trying to get in with Goldfinger.
Hmm.
There's some tense moments like in his house, he drives up and he's trying to like look around or whatever and
Yeah.
not be caught when he comes back. That was sort of good.
That
Um,
that I think was the only real difference from the book to the movie was, that he didn't get that initial invitation to Goldfinger's home that he gets in the books. He's just caught snooping. We kind of skip from, the golf game to tailing him to wherever else he's going to go, and we get all of the stuff that Goldfinger shows Bond that Odd Job can do. In the book, it's in his house, and in the movie, it's just like a quick, parting before they leave the golf game. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going off to another country. Don't talk to me again." Um, before he does that, he's like, "Check out Odd Job. He crushes golf balls with his hands, and he, you know, throws his hat, and these statues at the golf club get decapitated." So, whereas here in the book, there's like a whole added layer of, yeah, all of that stuff happens, but also Bond is in Goldfinger's home. He's
mhm,
he's at his mercy. Um, so yeah, so that was kind of the only difference I felt from the book to the movie, really.
yep.
Um, but kind of going along with that, I also liked some of the humanness of Bond in the books. You really get to slow down and get inside his head and get inside of what he's thinking. And I remember a passage in the book where he's in Goldfinger's house and he's thinking, "God, this place is ugly. I hate it here. It's like a museum. It's devoid of sunshine, of life, of enjoyment." And I remember him specifically thinking, like, what does Goldfinger do for fun? Does he like to eat? Does he like to do sports? Does he like to have sex? Like, does he enjoy anything? And I don't know why that stuck with me, but it was just such a human moment of like, this guy is just a downer. Like, does he like anything? Or is he like his house? He's just austere and removed, and nothing brings him joy but maybe the pursuit of gold. Um, and yeah, he didn't feel very secret agent Bond at that moment. He just felt like a guy being like, "I don't know about this guy. It's kind of a weirdo."
Yeah. Yeah, I like the different times like Bond like has to admit some sort of level of respect for the organization or the things they have or some criminal has going or whatever. But yeah, like, Goldfinger is a really unlikable fella. That's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Um,
Indeed.
I I do like what they I do like how helpless they made the situation eventually feel for Bond. It's like, what are you gonna do here? Um, but that was one of my complaints. Yeah, I do remember in our discussion of the film before. It was one of my complaints was how, and I have not come up with a someone else did, and I agree that Bond is such a passenger for a while in the movie. Like he really
Yeah.
is just going along and has very little autonomy. And I felt like
Mhm.
there was more in the book. That was
Mm.
very important that like he's like, how do I get out of this? He's ended up kind of working for Goldfinger in this as a hostage, and he's this like desperate attempt to leave a message in a plane toilet, hoping the cleaners are gonna get it. That's
Yeah, I agree that there's a little more agency in the book, although I will say both attempts to warn others of Goldfinger's plan are pretty weak on Bond's part. Um, like in the book, obviously, like you said, he leaves the message for the cleaner, hoping that they're going to get it somewhere. In the movie, he tries to put a message in this guy's car, um, and the guy gets smashed to pieces. So that doesn't work out, and then he just sort of like tries to maybe convince Pussy that she should be on his side, and in the end, he doesn't even know if it works. He's just sort of like, "She called? Oh, that's great!" Like he just doesn't really do much, you know. He's just along for the ride and just figuring stuff out and doing what he can. But yeah, it's not a whole lot of action on Bond's part.
yeah. Uh, Let's see what else I have to say about it. I guess at the time I didn't think that. I thought he was doing a pretty good job of selling, um, selling his plan to all the other crime bosses and stuff. Um, I think it's interesting how he sort of creates these kind of larger than life characters that are other crime bosses.
Mhm.
It's like the villains, and then the other guys. It's like they all have a tick or a thing that stands out. It's
Right.
not. Uh,
A crazy eye or like cut up lips or, scarred up
yes.
faces and yeah, just wild and or like or a Goldfinger that, he describes him very, very vividly in terms of like his appearance and his hair, his skin color. He's just like they're all wrong. Or I think he refers to like his football head or his cone head a lot. I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So
Yeah.
yeah, somehow if you've got distinctive physical features, you're in line to become a crime boss.
Yep. Um, I need to check on my daughter, so I'm gonna have
I
to.
heard. I'm so sorry. um yeah, one of so I'll just chat as John leaves because I had brought this up earlier. One of the interesting things that I figured about this book is it's like I said, it's through line to others and especially to previous books. We have a lot of continuity in the books where Bond refers back to previous missions, or we've had other books where he opens with reflecting on the mission that he's just completed. In this one, he again is kind of melancholy about how it just went down, and so he's feeling a little down in the dumps, and we need something new to get his mind off of that. Um, but yeah, he reflects on at some points his triumph over Le Chiffre and playing cards from Casino Royale. We have the reference to Las Vegas and the Spangle or Spangler brothers, which were moving diamonds in, oh gosh, I can't remember which one. Oh dear. Um Spangler brothers, James Bond. Let's see if I can remember. The Spangled Mob, American Crime Boss. Diamonds Are Forever. Yep, Diamonds Are Forever. Should have probably guessed that. Um, but yeah, so we have references to them at some point. And then we have I think the other big departing detail between the movie and the books, setting aside the whole scene at Goldfinger's house. We have the idea that gets introduced that Goldfinger, through all of his activities, has not only built up a fortune for himself by, buying up gold, hoarding gold, stealing gold at different points, but also that he's some sort of bank for Smersh, um, which is another through line. They're the big shadow organization from the books, comparable to Spectre in the movies. But the James Bond movies don't always refer, especially the more modern ones, don't always refer back to that organization. They're really kind of like standalone, almost episode of the week kinds of things where they focus on the villain that's at hand without tying them to a larger organization or a larger plot, and not certainly to world events all the time. But here we get the suggestion that Goldfinger, is the bank or the financier for Smersh, and I thought that was another interesting through line for this book. Welcome back. I hope your baby girl is okay.
Yes. Just in this, I don't want to sleep thing right now.
Mm.
So
Cora's in that too, so they can get
yeah.
together and not sleep sometime. Um, but I was just revisiting some of my thoughts that I had talked about very early on in the show, that this book does a lot of retrospective, reflection on Bond's previous adventures through some of the villains that they mention, but then also noting that Goldfinger might be the bank for Smersh, which is another like through line that it
Yep.
differs from the movie, which the movie is very like standalone. This is the adventure that we're going on, without any larger ties to, you know, shadow organizations or countries or, crime syndicates, anything like that. It's just, this is this is the villain before me, and this is who I need to take down.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I was checking your notes, see if there's any sort of things I really want to bring up, because this book again. It was, for me, in reading it, was really drawn out. More like, these are short reads, and this one took me a long time to get through. Again, I think it's like being how similar
Mhm.
it is to the film, and because by the end of it, I enjoyed it, but it was
Mhm.
really, I did really, it maybe was my least enjoyable read so far from the Bond series. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree. This
Really?
surprisingly wasn't my favorite. Sorry, I'm giggling because of the article that Alan sent us, talking
Mhm.
about key differences between the book and the movie, and they talk about the Fort Knox plot and how Fleming didn't really figure out how to do it, so he just sort of wrote something that he thought was vaguely plausible.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. If you give the exact blueprint, right, someone's going to do it.
someone's gonna do it. You can't have that. Um, yeah. Sorry, going back to your point, yeah, this book was less enjoyable than I thought. Just because I came away thinking the movie did much of it better. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the more logical setup in the book. Like the opening scene felt a little more logical. I like the insight into human bond during the golf game, because initially I was like, oh God, the golf game's going to be another horse race where we're just going to go into the history of golf, and we're just going to like describe it excruciatingly, where I just hate it now. But it ended up being nice, because I think the movie at that point gives Bond a little too much credit. Um, where I didn't enjoy his whole like, I'm explaining to my caddy who's just like in awe of my brilliance at figuring out Goldfinger's cheating. Oh, sir, I could never do that. Um, it felt a little like, you know, you don't need to make Bond superhuman all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, by the end of the book, I came away enjoying pieces, but overall less satisfied that I had been with all the other Bond books.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm happy that it wasn't just me. I remember expressing back before, you know, I was in November or something like that. I was just like, oh, I felt like a slow start for me. Just
I think
so
there's a reason we struggled, and we've unfortunately had to put off our Goldfinger talk for this long, because yeah, it was a tough go to get through the book. It was a bit of a slog. Um and yeah, rewatching the movie recently was very enjoyable. Mostly. There are some parts also that I'd be like, we could change that, but it's a good film on the whole, and yeah, one of my favorite opening songs for sure.
okay. Yeah, sure.
I love it.
I I guess when it comes down to it, I'm still not a Goldfinger guy, book or film. Not the ones for me. They both have things I appreciate and enjoy, but when stacked up against the rest of the Bond canon, just doesn't hold up to me. So
Mm,
sorry,
I
lots of people in the comments.
I will
I mean,
say, I one thing I liked about the book better is that I thought it was more plausible for Pussy Galore to have her name. In the movie,
because she's like the
it's
crime boss kind of thing.
exactly. So it could be like a nickname. It could be like a thing. You know what I mean? It just, they all had some sort of odd name or nickname or like shortened version of their name or like some thing that like described an attribute about them where it was just kind of odd. So it fit better when you put her against like Jed Midnight and stuff like that. Names that people just don't have.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, in the movie it's always ridiculous. It's like she comes on and they're like, what? Even yeah. Even the movie itself is just like, we know this is ridiculous. So,
It's kind of fun to have with when Bond can play that way, though. It's just like you don't. It stands out when nothing else is that ridiculous, and that's kind of fun. Like you have to be
mhm.
careful with what you're gonna have be so over the top or ridiculous, and
Yes.
uh, you know that was definitely versus like Roger Moore film. Maybe you're just like, no, we're gonna go do a lot of ridiculous things. We're gonna have you know the gator suit and
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh, Roger Moore.
Get you to come around on Roger Moore someday. Someday you're gonna be like, I see it now. I
I
see.
don't know. I don't know. I can have better appreciation, but I don't know that, if you had me choose anything, I would choose Roger Moore first.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Well,
Oh, interesting.
I think. Oh, okay. Alan shared a thing. There's a poster for the Pussy Galore Flying Circus.
Yes,
Our
yes. Yeah, I thought it
video
was
is going to be
interesting.
adults only because we're saying just her name.
I know, I know. It's so ridiculous. Um, yeah, I thought again it was also interesting in the book. She's a crime boss. She's not a pilot. So they had to do something about like why would she have all these women and why would they be trained? So they were like acrobats and stuff, and that was kind of interesting too, as opposed to like the flying circus. But
Sure. Yep.
gave me an idea about why there was some sort of performance element to her in the movie. Because we moved from acrobats to flying circus. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like a loose callback.
Yep. Yep. Well, very good.
Yeah.
We had to figure out. We just want to cover each of the short stories as well, or if we want to like read them all and then talk about them all. We got enough mileage out of A View to a Kill, but we had a
We
movie to
did.
compare
We did
contrast.
have a movie to
Now.
go with it, yeah.
So maybe that'll
Which,
just
I mean, really, obviously that was one of the most different,
yes.
movies to stories, understandably. Even if they had tried to stretch out the short story into a film, I think it would have been a stretch. But yeah, that was
Yep.
that was one of the more interesting differences, whereas this was, yeah, pretty similar.
Yep. Well, too bad we didn't love Goldfinger, but I have to say I'm
Mhm.
like the next short story in For Your Eyes Only quite a bit so far.
Yeah.
I'm super far into it, but I'm really liking it. So
Yeah.
high.
The short stories are good.
Mhm. It seems perfect for Bond. You
Mhm.
know, not that these are long either, but it
Right.
kind of forces. Maybe it's we'll see. I've only read the one and a half now, but maybe it forces him to give up sometimes the intricacies of something specific
Mhm.
trade or after whatever. That
Yep.
like
Or
is
meal
this
times.
what's that?
or mealtime. Sometimes I'm like, all right, I get it. He's like eating shrimp and it's super good, but also like I don't need to hear about it for the fourth time in the book.
Some details I really like. I like, but they're short. So like I remember in um it's a, I don't know, a couple back now. They're all blurring because they're nothing like
Oh
the movie
yeah.
usually, and then they mix them between them. They're all blurring. But it was he was in the States yet, and he was telling I think Felix that they're gonna have eggs, or maybe he was even just thinking to himself. It's like here they don't use heavy cream. They don't use cream. They
Hmm.
just use to put in their eggs. Blah, yuck.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. It's like I don't know, little things like that, cultural differences. I like those sorts of things, but yeah, sometimes it's a little long, and you don't have time to do that in a short story. So,
Exactly. You have to cut that out. You have to kill your darlings, as they say.
yep,
Um, so yeah, sometimes that can be good for a writer. So I think it's a good exercise for Fleming.
yep. Okay, well, that's Goldfinger,
Hmm.
novel and film. Talking about 'em both a little bit.
Hmm.
If you get interested in more Bond conversation, make sure you let us know in the comments below. I guess
Hmm.
we'll be doing it whether you say you like it or not, because we're going through the books, this year we're going to talk about Casino Royale,
Yeah.
um,
Oh
because
God.
film
20
anniversary for that.
years. 20 years.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yep. I mean, it's one of my most watched movies as an adult ever. So I don't know that I
Mm,
need to watch it again, but I probably will, I suppose. And I do need to read the book
I
because
will.
for whatever reason, I started this whole journey with the second book
That's
as a
right.
first.
You did. And I didn't. I read Casino Royale.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I will have to rewatch it. And I will have to rewatch it with Chris because I believe I saw it with him for the first time.
Well, I saw it with him before you saw it with him. So take that.
I'm going to go upstairs and give him a little smack. How dare you?
Yeah, I came down to visit you guys or whatever, and I don't know what you were up to, but Chris and I went to the local theater there
Yeah.
to see Casino Royale.
Or, I mean, if it
Or maybe
was 2000, we weren't dating yet. We hadn't met each other
maybe
yet.
not.
If it was 2006.
Okay. It was
Yeah.
2006, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't meet each other until sophomore year. So just the year
Mm,
following.
okay. Well, that explains
All
you
right,
were definitely
fair,
where.
fair. I take back the preemptive smack.
Perfect. All right. Well, everybody, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow in all the applicable places. We're live right now on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Twitch. So any of those
Mhm,
places, good. Live content. We split between our anime channel and
mhm.
Pop the Rocks. If you live on YouTube. So our anime channel is Ohio Anime. But that's the only place that's different. Otherwise, everywhere else, you can just find us on Podcast on the Rocks. That includes podcast directories like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The video version is available on Spotify. So wherever you are, we're probably there. Killing the Flower wrote a theme song, so you can check them out on music streaming services. Check out Mike Bryant Racing. He's on
Mhm.
Instagram, pretty active right now. So that's for racing content. Peter J. Gilbertson, his books are available on Amazon. And I don't know what's next for us. If we're probably back to anime and get the rest of Jujutsu Kaisen out of the way, I think.
Sure,
Um,
yeah. That
as far
sucks.
as,
I mean, it's good, but also like I've been itching to get back to Hell's Paradise. So,
yes, I agree.
but JJK totally makes sense as you know, spoiler-ish alert. It's a very short season, and we're basically already done with it.
Yeah. Yep. So Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise. Um, I'm in Dorohei Doro season 2. We got to finish up. Um, what's the other?
Tojima.
Tojima, and
Yeah, we
then we'll
absolutely have to finish Tojima.
do free run. We'll have to eventually do free run when that's
Yes.
how we want to tackle that.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot. And
So
then as far
much.
as this podcast, we have obviously more Bond books to cover. We have Daredevil if we want to talk about that. I don't know if you're
We
going to
should, yeah.
do that. We have
Night of the Seven
Knight of
Kingdoms.
Seven Kingdoms if you're done with that. I'm watching the Maul show and
Right.
mall, not a shopping mall. And there was something else that's I don't know.
There was.
But any random movies, obviously, if we come across them that we want to get to.
Alien.
Yes, that's the other thing it was. We're going
Yep.
through it doesn't feel like we're still going through it, but we are still going through it. So we have Aliens 3.
Yep.
Alien, which
Which
I've never seen before.
I was going to say I've seen, but you have not.
Yes. So I
Yep.
think for the show, maybe that should be priority, until you're done with any of the other series we want to talk about or something like that.
For sure.
Or is ongoing. So
For sure, yeah.
So many options, lots of things.
So
Excited
many
to talk
options, so
about.
little time.
100%. So thank you, Rudy, for joining us. And thank you, Andrea, for joining me. See you next time.
Of course, as always. Cheers, everybody.